Okay, welcome back everyone to the last day of programming basics. If you're in this lecture, you've passed your exam already, so congratulations. We'll go ahead and be ready to start WebFund next week. So before starting WebFund, there's some couple things that we want to set up to get WebFund as easy and painless as possible. So there is a website called GitHub, okay? And its purpose is to host and share code. So people can view code related to an application. They can download that application, maybe make some modifications, edits, see any updates on the code progress. They can, it's basically a website for code, okay? You can't send a JavaScript file over a Gmail, okay? Reasons being for security reasons. They don't want any malicious software being sent. Austin serves, okay. So we will be working on how to post our code to GitHub. Okay, let me just reply to this message real quick, and then we'll go ahead and do that. So it'll be an interactive lesson. So what I need you guys to do is to pull up Visual Studio Code. We'll be sharing our screen in case we get stuck. I'll be explaining the steps you need to do. And so basically what we'll be doing in just a few minutes is installing GitHub, okay? There is multiple ways you can push your code to GitHub, this website for code. The way I'll be showing you today is the easiest, simplest way is to use Visual Studio to push, okay? So before we do that, what I want to ask you guys is to talk about and reflect the lessons that you've learned this week. Some things that you learned that you did not expect to learn. And let's talk about any struggles, difficulties, victories that you've had that you just want to make a note of and say that you're proud of, or it's something you struggled with. So before we get straight into the lesson, let's just have a little discussion.
If you're looking for participation.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, well, participation is what we'll need to get through this. So talk to me. Yeah, tell me about your week.
One of the things I realized most, I spent a lot of time doing all the practice problems over the last few nights, and some took me a lot more time than others. And there was multiple times where maybe one or two problems like kind of stonewall me. I looked up a bunch of things, kept looking up a bunch of things, going back, seeing even in the Algo app, they would explain it and I would still not get it right, still not be able to correct it. After like 40 minutes, sometimes I would go to TA hours and kind of fix it. But when those moments happened and TA hours weren't available anymore, I did make those decisions based off of reading to just like go do something else for a little bit. I had to stop, and I remembered to just the need to stop. Took like a 25-minute break, 30-minute break, came back, looked at it, and I'm like, that X is capitalized. Are you kidding me? Yeah. And it was just like the simplest, tiniest things that just like, it's like a slap in the face, but those little things are always going to happen, sometimes on accident, or hopefully always on accident. But it was just a good reminder to be like patient. And if I'm like stonewalled and fiercely looking to get at something, then I'm probably going to be too close to the screen to be able to see what actually is going on. To not be afraid to take a moment away.
That is a classic example of the rule, which is, okay, if you're sitting down coding way too long and you don't know why it's breaking, you just need a fresh pair of eyes. So you get up, get some fresh air, do something else other than code, and you'll be able to see why it's broken. If you just try to white knuckle it and push through your assignment, no matter what, not giving yourself the proper rest, you'll get frustrated with yourself. You'll get frustrated with programming. And really what you needed was to stop and do something else, okay? You can't just work yourself to death. I mean, this is not like physically labor intensive, but it's mentally, right? And your brain gets tired, it needs a break. When you rest, you're able to work better. So when I was a student, the founder of Coding Dojo, Michael Choi, he was still around, and he had I'll never forget this. He dropped into a lecture room one time and gave us a story, an example of how he'd been working on a website. He had a bug on it that he couldn't figure out why it was breaking. So he had a team of people comb through every bit of code on that app, on that project, and at the end of the story, what happened was there was a comma on the page way out there, like because of indentation or spaces, and you couldn't see it on the normal text, but it was way on the right, and just one little comma that wasn't supposed to be there, where it didn't belong, broke the whole thing. So it's a very meticulous thing to be coding, and code interpreters are getting better to read human typos and to go past them, but it's supposed to be very exact. Capitalization will break your code if it's case sensitive. If you're calling a variable and you're using caps, and you're or if you're calling the variable using caps when the variable doesn't have caps, you're calling a different variable, right? So it's very detail oriented. That's a good observation, good story, Ben. So anyone else have any comments before we jump into the lecture? Some lessons you've learned, something you're still working on, anything that, it's your first week of programming. How do you feel so far? You guys passed the test. You guys are doing well. How do you like it?
It's easier to forget the easy stuff than the hard stuff, in my opinion.
Okay, that's interesting.
Like, the hard stuff is the stuff you're going to be focusing on. Like, okay, I need to get maybe not hard, but the more complex stuff, like how someone just said someone spent 12 hours figuring out something and all they forgot was a semicolon. Where, like, just for what we know so far, like writing up a for loop, the 3 different little segments of the for loop, you're going to be able to remember exactly how to do that, but then you might forget the semicolon at the end. And something simple like that is more time what I was having trouble with than actually just remembering the processes of the formatting itself.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And I'm commenting here on Isaiah's chat now about learning HTML first and then JavaScript. We used to teach HTML, then CSS, and then a little bit something more complicated, JavaScript, because HTML and CSS, I think, are relatively easier than JavaScript. And so that's why we're handling the hardest thing, JavaScript, for a whole entire week. It would have been just a couple hours on Friday this whole entire week, which is a little bit too much, right? So I'm glad we all got through this week. I'm confident that because you guys passed this, you guys will pass the next test just fine as well. It's harder, but you guys are on track, on a good learning track, okay? So if we have no other comments, let's go ahead and get GitHub installed, all right? This is less of me just talking and giving abstract concepts. This is more just me working with you to get our programs to a certain point where we can just press a button or a few buttons and our code is online. We don't have to zip it to submit our assignments, right? Because let's look at here. You guys see my screen, right? Oh, it's wrong. I gotta pull up something, right? That was it, but I just exited out. Okay, so let's go to just any random assignment. I just want to show you guys what I mean. Okay, here's one. Create variables. Okay, so if you go to the bottom of any page where you have to submit an assignment, okay, let's delete this. You'll see here a place where you can drag and drop your files, right? This is where you guys have been submitting your zip files. But on the right-hand side here, you'll see a URL where you can stick a link, okay? The goal at the end of this lecture is to be able to get that link, to put it here, not on this specific assignment, but on any assignment or anything that you want. You should be able to get a link to your code to share to anybody. Specifically, at least for future assignments in the dojo, you can just link it here, whatever related assignment you're working on, okay? To whatever related assignment you're working on. So let's find a way to get our code to be linked online, okay? And So what you want to do is create a GitHub account first. This is step one. Let's go to GitHub. Let's go to Google together and type in GitHub. All right. The first link that pops up, GitHub. Let's build some code from here, or let's build from here. Click that and start creating your account. Okay. Once you finish your account creation, type 1 in the chat. Yeah, someone's seen my tabs. This is not even a lot of tabs here. So you've created your account. Nice. The 3 ones. So far 4. How many people in this lecture? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I should see 14 ones. And if we get this all done before the hour, then you guys have even more time to yourself. So usually this lecture is about an hour and a half with all the people. Also, if you finish installing GitHub before your cohort mates, you're able to get to that final step, and you don't have to stick here for the whole entire hour and a half. The goal is just to get you to that place where you can link your GitHub work through just a link. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I already have my GitHub installed and no Git. So Mark, are you able to push to Git already? Any code that you have, any folders? Yeah. Okay. Wow. Nice. Congratulations. I appreciate that. Maybe you can help me this lecture to get everyone else caught up. Mark, are you on a PC or Mac? PC. Okay. That works out nicely for me because I'm on a Mac. So, and last question, Mark, are you able to push to GitHub through Visual Studio Code? Are you pushing to get to Visual? I use terminal in VS Code. Okay, that's the way that normally I was taught, but there's an even shortcut way to do it through Visual Studio. So let me try and show us this way. Okay, Mark, you probably want to set this up too. This is super convenient. I know the terminal command is super easy, but this also is even easier than typing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think we're missing two people here. Oh, well, Mark not included, so maybe I miscounted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Sorry, I'm sorting through my email. I'm about there.
Okay.
Josh, want to hear something funny real quick while we wait?
I'm sorry?
Want to hear something funny real quick while we wait?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna share my board with you real quick, or share my screen real quick.
Okay. Edward, let us know when you're done. Go ahead, Anthony. Not too funny, where we might.
It's not super. It's funny enough, but okay. You see the girl in this picture right here,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
the scantily clad woman.
Uh,
So I set that up on my Yahoo account about 17 years ago, and the account that I set that up on doesn't exist, so I can't delete that profile as a picture. Like, it was from a Battlefield 3 website, and it was my
Okay.
profile picture on Battlefield 3.
Okay.
And that website doesn't exist anymore for me to take it down. So for whatever reason, Yahoo always pulls that picture and puts it as my profile picture on like 90% of things.
Yeah.
And when I was in fire school, same problem happened where it kept auto uploading it to my profile picture for my fire academy.
And so they probably dogged you for that, didn't they?
Every fucking day. Every day I got, sorry for cursing. Every single day I got an email. I'm like, dude, I've changed it every single day. It's smarter than me.
That's happened too. I have a similar story I'll tell you after this lecture. Very similar, parallel. Okay, let's do what I just did. Create a folder in your desktop or somewhere where you create your folders. In your documents, desktop, wherever you create folders, create a folder there, and let's put a JS file in there. Okay, it can be called anything. I called my folder GitHub example, and I put a JS file in that GitHub folder, And this, I call it example.js. I'm just going to put a comment in here that says hello world. Okay, I'm not actually writing JavaScript. I'm just trying to push this to the internet to see if it can get there.
Could you share your screen?
Oh, I thought I was. Excuse me. Let's do that now. Okay. Okay, so here we are. We have our JS file and our example folder, GitHub example. Okay. Now, once we've all created our GitHub accounts, we want to link them to our Visual Studio Code. Okay, there's a way to connect Visual Studio with the GitHub account. And the way to do that is by clicking, do you guys all have this icon here with the profile picture face on the top and the bottom left of your Visual Studio above the gear? You guys all see that? Okay. You should be able to, I'm going to log out of GitHub so I can sign back in. Okay. So if you click that, you guys probably have a slightly different screen view because I've already been logged in once. Let's see, let's sign out. Try again. Okay. Now, the next step should be sign into sync settings. You guys see that? Go ahead and click it and then sign in with GitHub.
Sorry.
It'll take me to this page where I have to enter my information.
Yeah, I'll get with you after this. Something ain't popping up in my VS Code for that.
It immediately signed me in.
Okay, so it's successful for some. Shakira, you're good. Edward, what did you say about what you're doing?
Oh, I was just saying that I can't really get in. It just says settings sync, and then it says settings, keyboard shortcuts, UI
Go ahead
profile
and
stuff.
confirm that. The next step is GitHub. If you say confirm that, it would.
Oh, sign in and turn on. Oh,
Yeah.
I've
I did
never
the
had a
same thing.
GitHub before. This is all new. Oh, okay. So now I need to make an address and stuff like that.
Well, as soon as you create your account and then you link it, as soon as you're logged in, as you see here, you should see your profile name that you created. Okay. Once you're able to sign in to GitHub in Visual Studio, type 2 in the chat. Make sure I'm getting you guys through all the steps properly.
I made the file for the testing JS file, and now you said I need to go down to the bottom left picture icon and click which of the three options to log in?
Turn on settings sync.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Leave everything checked off and just click sign in and turn on.
Let me sign out again and show you what I have to do. You have to do.
Sorry, I was trying to rename my file of where I keep my code files because I'd originally tried to space it out by week, and then I didn't want to have that going forward. And I had to switch. Okay.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people are signed in. About a third of us are done.
So should I get a notification saying allow to or allow an extension to open this URL?
Yes. Allow.
Okay.
Allow. Yes.
Cool. Fuji, stop.
Currently looking at like it's saying personal user data, cancel or authorize Visual Studio Code. I just want to click authorize.
Authorize. Yes. You can trust. Yes.
Okay.
So I did the settings sync and then I said sign in and it just shot over to my open internet and then nothing happened. I click on the account icon. I don't see a signed in as.
What's your default browser?
What is this browser?
Is-
Uh,
Is it opening the same browser you would have logged into GitHub through?
yeah, I am logged into GitHub on that browser.
Okay. I think I have to see your screen, so we'll have to do a couple screen shares this lecture. Share with me, Kurt, please.
Do you have any extensions that is blocking scripts from being run?
I do not believe so. Hold on a second.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So half of us are pretty much done with syncing our Visual Studio with GitHub. Okay. So let's fully expand your Visual Studio so I can see.
So after it's fully synced, will you see GitHub at the top of your VS Code?
At the top, I don't think I would see it at. Okay, let's do one screen share at a time. So okay, bottom left, click that account icon. Sync settings on. Okay, you are logged in on GitHub. It looks like I think you're already set up. You're all good, right?
Yeah, he is, because it's got the M next to his file name that tells you that the file's modified in GitHub, all that stuff.
M next to his profile name. Where is his profile name?
That you see that M he's hovering over?
Okay, I see. I'm looking at the bottom. Okay, so I think, yeah. Okay, so you're good. You're set up. Let's go to your file. Click the file icon at the top left. Top left, yeah. All right, and where is this file? Where does this file exist? In Coding Dojo. You need to put that file in its own GitHub folder. So whenever we push to GitHub, the folder or the files related to that push, every assignment now should be in its own folder. Okay. You don't want a general Coding Dojo folder that has a bunch of files from different assignments all in the same folder. Each JavaScript file related to an assignment should have its own folder. It's asking you, do you want to save this test.js that has nothing in it? Do you want to save it or not save it? Okay. Okay, now here we are. Awesome. Okay, so you're all set up. Hang there tight, Kurt. And who was the next person that asked me a question that I can ask them to share their screen? Who was it? Edward?
No, that actually just verified it. It does bring GitHub to the top, and then it says GitHub Visual Studio Code, which is the workspace that you're working in.
Okay, so let me
So,
count the
no
twos
worries.
here. Did everyone post a 2 to show that they're done?
I could show my screen to make sure.
Okay.
The stuff is set.
Okay.
So we don't need to download an extension or anything in VS for this, right?
No.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Josh, I might need some help on my end.
Okay. Okay.
So I have mine. It looks
You're
like it's
you're good, Benny.
maybe
You're good.
And just want to make sure that is okay.
You're good.
Okay.
Yep.
So are we pushing to GitHub or are you just still connecting everything?
We're getting everyone on the same pace. We're going to connect after this. So after Ryan's check, I just want to make sure his account is synced so that we can all push at the same time. We can all get out of here at the same
Yeah,
time.
so I already signed into GitHub, but I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do next.
Okay, then you're good. You don't need to share. Okay, as long as you're at that step, you should have posted 2 in the chat. Okay.
No, I'm already signed in, but my file is not. But the GitHub account is not showing up on the what do you call it, the Explorer side? The Explorer?
Explorer, your browser?
No, I just noticed that everyone has the word GitHub on the.
Don't worry about that.
That's
Don't
an
worry about that.
extension that they downloaded. No
Yeah.
worries.
It's not something. Yeah, let's just follow the steps. We're all good. You're good. You're good, Ryan. Okay, let's.
I think he means that we all created a folder called GitHub, and he's not seeing that.
Oh, thank you for that. All right, Ryan. So this
Yeah,
is
what he
what you
said.
want. this is what you want to do. You want to create a GitHub folder.
Yeah, so I go to the icon as you said.
Okay, so go to File at the top left. Top left, open folder. Okay. And then somewhere in your coding dojo files, go, where you save your files. No, not there. Just go to, let's just go to your desktop for now.
Okay. Oh my lord.
Okay, just go to your desktop, create a GitHub folder there called GitHub, and open that with Visual Studio.
Desktop. Sorry, how do we create a folder again?
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
God.
no worries, no worries. Go click here. That
Uh,
does.
yeah, so desktop.
Okay. Right click here. Right click. New.
Yeah. Yep.
New.
View. And then folder.
Call it GitHub test. GitHub _ test. No spaces in any folders, okay?
Yeah.
Enter. Okay. Now go to your Visual Studio. Top left, click File, Open Folder. Go to your desktop and get that folder. Okay, awesome. Now, awesome. Now click that, yes. Now click that file icon here and create, oh, no. You
Shit.
click that file icon right there. This one. That page, yep, between those two red. And now make it example.js. Okay, put the code in there, just comment out hello world. Okay, has everyone else got this? This is the next step where we need to be. You have to have a folder for this specific test and a file in that folder that we want to push. Okay, if everyone is at this step, type a 3 in the chat now. Type a 3. Okay, believe it or not, we're going through this pretty smoothly. We're making record time here with the amount of people we have. Awesome. So we all got our own folders with that specific file. We've created our GitHub accounts. We've synced our Visual Studio with GitHub. Okay. Now, if we've created our folder with that file in it, the very last step should be easy and should look like this. Okay.
You're not sharing your screen right now?
Oh, I'm not. Oops. Thank you. You guys are great. All right. Okay. So here's my file explorer. Here's my search magnifying glass. I haven't showed you guys how to use this yet. Super helpful. But the one we want to use is source control. This one here that looks like 3 circles, a line going vertically up, and then this one looking like it's branching out. Okay, that's because that represents what GitHub looks like at some data source level. I'll explain that in a minute. Now, the first thing that we should see here is initialize repository. Okay, do we see that? Initialize repository.
I'm going to download. It says I need to download.
It says I need to download Git from Mac OS.
Okay, go ahead and do that, Mac users. Does anyone else see that initialize repository? I want to make sure at least some of us are on the right step. Okay, Kurt, good. See your hand raised. Everyone else.
So how would I change?
I had to download Git as well for Windows.
Okay. Go ahead, Shakira.
How do I change the folders? Because right now I got like all the random files that I've been working on since then.
Are you on a Mac or PC?
Mac.
Okay, so here's a way you can do it. So you go to the top left when you're selecting Visual Studio, you say File, Open Folder. In this view here, where you have all these files, wherever you are, I tend to work from my desktop. You can work from your Documents folder, wherever you like, okay? I work from, and in here, you should see a button on the bottom left, New Folder. Here's where you can create a new folder, name it, and then open it from here as well.
So that's the one we have to name it Web Fundamentals or whatever it told us to name.
For this specific lecture project, you just want to make one called GitHub _ example or GitHub _ test. Make a new folder and create that JavaScript file in that folder. Okay. All right. Once you get to that point.
Quick question before you move forward.
Yeah.
In the download option for Mac OS, it gives you like 6 options. Which one are you supposed to do?
Share with me your screen, please.
Push me to this site. When I click download, you
Okay.
get Mac OS.
All right. Who else is seeing this here? Okay. Anyone else seeing this? When we download, we should set VS Code as our default editor. Yes. Okay. So now we have to get, we have to go through a couple installation steps to get you on board. Okay. You have to install Homebrew in order to install GitHub. Okay. So this is how you install Homebrew. You have to take that command line. Can you zoom in a little bit or expand your page, make it a little bigger?
Full screen.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah. Okay.
Just take that and paste it in your Mac terminal.
Yeah. So do you know what terminal is?
Yeah.
Okay. Go to your Mac search or finder, the magnifying glass at the top, and look for terminal. Right here. Go right here. Let me highlight your screen. My Zoom tools are dysfunctional.
Go to where the time is. We see May 5th, 8:37, and you see the magnifying glass to the left.
Yeah, there we go.
Type terminal.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Enter, yeah. Just paste it.
Paste it. Yep. Okay, type in your password. It's invisible, so just be careful to not make a mistake.
And then enter.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's installing, so just don't touch it, let it run. Oh, press enter to continue. Press enter. Okay. Let it just run, do its thing. Who else needs to install Git on Mac? These are the steps you need to be going through. Okay.
Okay. Did you get to this point by pushing first?
No, you have to go to okay, while this loads for you,
Stop sharing. That helps.
yeah, while it's loading, yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. So Mac users, you may need to go through the step, comment and type in hello world, / hello world. Okay, and now that icon that I said below the magnifying glass at the left, top left, that one, source control, initialize repository. Okay, so you already have Git installed. Okay, so for those that click the button and you're at this step, this is what you need to do. All right, for those installing, just hang tight. We'll get you to the step. Type in the message there at the source control. Type in the message first space commit. I'll explain what these steps mean, but first let's just get them done. Well, I can explain a little bit. So what we're doing here is we are about to put all of our code into its rocket ship to make it lift off into the web, to outer space. Okay, we're leaving a message for the purpose of this push, for this purpose of putting our code online. So this is our very first commit, which means our very first edit to this code. We may want to make future edits to improve this code. Those different edits are called commits. This is our first one, so we just typically, it doesn't have to have this line, but this is a good line to put first commit. Just means this is the first time we're pushing it to the web. This is our rough draft, version A, okay? So click commit now. After you put that message, you have to put a message there. Yes, always, or yes, it'll ask you again next time. You can just click always next time, okay? Now, after you do that, it's going to ask you if you'd like to publish the branch. Now, this is the final button to lift off, into space. So click publish branch, allow. Okay, open. Public. Do you see the option below? Public. Private means only you can see it. Public means you can share this code with anyone that has the link. Okay, open on GitHub. Okay.
Yep, so I think it did it. I got the link yesterday. Okay, yeah, it did it.
Can you pull that screen that you're seeing here? Okay, now that we're here, this is the final step. You've completed the push. You have successfully connected your GitHub account to Visual Studio. And now if you click this button here, that code green button with the arrow above, and move your mouse down a little bit, to the right a little bit. See that icon right there?
This one?
Click it. That copies the link to this page so you can share your code. So if you type it in the chat now, everyone can see. Everyone else should be able to see a link to your repository.
Real quick, Josh, I got a question for you on a Windows side, if you can spare a second.
Of course. Okay. But before we do that, let me just say,
Yeah.
Shakira is now done. Okay, she's finished. She's able to provide a link for her push. Okay, so this is where we all want to be. Once you're at this step, you're pretty much good to go with this lecture. Shakira, you can hang out here and help people out. I'm not going to hold you here for the next 30 minutes if you don't want to stay. Get everyone else on board, but you're good. Okay, you've done what the purpose of this lecture was to do, which is to get you fully integrated into Git. So now go ahead and share your screen. I didn't see who was speaking. Your Windows screen.
It was me, Anthony.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm stuck uploading files right now. It's just continually trying to upload files.
Okay, we'll take a look at yours after.
Okay.
Okay. So you type in the message first commit. Did you click commit?
Yeah, and then it says open git log and
Okay. Click cancel.
oh, cancel.
Okay. At the bottom left of your screen, click the account. I just want to make sure you've done this. Okay. All right. So for Windows users, you have to run a couple lines in your terminal to log into GitHub as well. So Windows is a little bit of a pain as well. So let me get the commands for you there. Okay. So actually you should see it here on the output. So scroll up a little bit. Okay,
Oh,
see these
right here?
two lines. Yeah, these two lines. Copy copy that, paste it
Mhm.
in the chat for me if you would.
In Zoom chat.
Yeah, yes, Zoom chat. So most Windows users, you have to do this step. Okay, post it in the Zoom chat.
Okay. How do I do that without stopping sharing my screen? Yeah.
You should be able to just fine. If not,
In
Oh,
I'll,
there
that-
it is. I found it. My bad.
okay. Okay, now open a notepad and go ahead and paste it there as well. Open a notepad and paste it there as well. Okay, now replace in the quotations, replace your email that you used to log into to create a GitHub account. So in this notepad, go ahead and change it.
Leave it
Wait,
within the
how do we open the
quotations.
notepad?
Sorry.
How do we open up the notepad? I'm sorry, just
Or if you're on Windows, you go to your Windows search at the bottom left, type in note or notepad.
okay, gotcha.
Okay. And then replace it with your username. Remove the quotes in this case.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure it matters. I'm just used to doing it this way.
And that's your GitHub username, right?
GitHub username. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me double check, make sure that is my actual GitHub username. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Kind of look like James Franco. All right.
Depending on
So
how my hair is, I get James Franco or not Jonah Hill, the Seth Rogen. I get both of them.
yeah, you're their child. Okay, so open up. Okay, so you want to run this and get, where does it tell you to do it exactly? Scroll down.
Okay, config.
Scroll down. I think it's just anywhere. Scroll down. Okay, click terminal right here. To the right there, yeah. And there we go. Click enter. Scroll up. Okay, we need to get you to download Git Bash. So go
Got it.
to
Did
your
that.
browser.
I thought I did that when I downloaded Git.
Oh, okay, now go back to your Visual Studio in that case. Go back to Visual Studio. And click right here.
Where's
This little down arrow, this one, small one.
Remember, I'm sharing my screen. You're not sharing yours.
I know, I'm writing on your screen. Do you see that arrow?
Oh yeah, I do actually. My bad. Yeah.
Okay, do you see Git Bash? Click that one. So you do have it. So check to see if you have it before you download it. Those that are following along the PC tutorial here. Now paste it. Now paste it. There we go. Now we're set up. So now go through the steps, commit.
Yeah, there you go. And then I hit publish right
Publish.
afterwards.
Publish. Allow. Authorize. Open. Don't ask. Yeah. Public. Public. Did you click
Yeah.
private or public?
I click public.
Oh, okay. So fast. All right. And then it's going to give you a link to open as soon as it's done opening.
And then sign in.
Yeah. Okay, Ben, we'll go back to you in a second, okay? As soon as we're done here. Everyone's going to get GitHub. No worries.
I had a quick question. I've had GitHub. I messed around with VS Code editor for a while, and I signed up for GitHub. Is there a special thing that we're doing here that's like, connecting through like our, portal or anything like that through for Code Dojo?
Visual.
I kind of understood that question. The last part threw me off. Could you
So
Uh,
like, is there something, a special like, special connection between our portal in Coding Dojo
oh, I
to
see.
to
No,
my like to my
no.
portal in yeah, okay, then I should be good. But
Yeah.
I'll have you, you know, if I have any issues, then I'll you know, I'll raise them
Okay.
then.
So all you need to do now is for future assignments, if you want, you can still upload it by zip. If that's what you want to do, completely fine. Okay, no problem. What I recommend is whenever you upload to Git now, well, this is not a recommendation, this is a requirement. Make sure you're making it whenever you push to GitHub, you're making it so that it's in its own individual folder related to that project. Okay. Don't share a folder with different projects on it. Each push has to be its own unique code for that specific folder. Like we did here, we made a specific GitHub push, put the files in that one, then we pushed it. Okay. If you have a giant folder with all your assignments and then you push it, it's not very good. Okay. It doesn't look very good. Okay. So where are we on your step, Anthony? So,
My bad. It made me go here,
okay. So,
took forever, opened this up, went back to this, clicked here, brought me down to back to here.
okay. So now,
And then I just looked over at visual to see if I got the. Got a
refresh this page. Refresh this page. Okay. Go back to Visual Studio. And this is, what is this one? Go back to your file explorer at the top left. I want to see what this folder is called. It's called GitHub. So this is what we should expect to see on GitHub, a
folder.
repository called GitHub. So the one you were clicking on GitHub wasn't this one. So if we go back to Visual Studio, let's check again.
Back to Visual Studio?
Yeah.
Okay, back to Visual Studio.
Oh, sorry. Back to your
GitHub?
yes. Okay, go press the back arrow, get out of this page. So you click that one.
Why did it do that?
There it is. There's your file, example.js. So now if you want to link someone to this file, oh, why'd you go back?
Because I was seeing something. Sorry.
Okay. So click code. See that code button with the blue dot at the top right? This is how you link your code. There we go. So now you know. You can even download a zip of this file as well. Do you see that button? If you want to share this with someone, if you want to share your code with someone now, you provide them a link and then they can download your code or they can use GitHub to download as well. Okay.
Would it show if it was public or private right in that area?
It shows at the top near the title. It's very obvious somewhere. I don't know exactly where it is, but it'll tell you. Actually, in your view where you see all your repositories, if you go back, then it'll show you there as well, public or private. So you're done, Anthony. You finished. You're able to push. So you did it successfully. Ben, do you want to share your screen now?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, type a 4 in the chat if you're already done. You're able to push. You see your code on GitHub, so I know who's done at this point. All right, so you installed Brew. You successfully did it.
At the end, it said run brew, and then I thought I needed to do the brew install git. But it says it won't accept that command. Okay,
and now go on to the previous page before you had to go to brew. Before it took you to brew, it took you to somewhere else. Brew install git. Did you type in that line?
So I typed brew install git, and it said command not found.
You put a W in front of git.
No, the first time I did it.
I see.
The second time I went to Homebrew and tried their version.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Neither.
Go back, and just for my sake, copy brew install git, but don't copy that $, just the words.
Just paste and enter.
Enter. Okay. So okay, Homebrew is enabled, was it successfully installed? Let's go to Visual Studio. Maybe it was, and we just don't know it.
Okay, let me pull that up.
Close and open Visual Studio again. Close it, open it, save it, close it, oh, or that. Now go to that project. Go to that link where, now it's good. So now type in some code into example.js, hello world or something. So you're good. Now you installed it. So now initialize repository.
Okay.
Type in a message in the commit above the blue button. Type first commit. Click commit.
Save all.
Yep. Make sure you, okay. So now you have to do that command that we did with Anthony. So copy that command line. I'll paste it in the chat.
Do cancel.
Yeah, cancel, hit cancel. So what I just typed in the chat, copy that in a notepad and then change it to be your information so that you can copy and paste it into your terminal. Git config -- global user.email. Put your user email instead. After user.email. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate your help. Let's see who is covered. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So like this?
Yes. No, undo. Control Z or Command Z. Yeah. Command Z. Keep pressing, holding Command and oh no, paste it in. Just paste it in from scratch.
Okay. Like the whole section.
Thing. Yeah. Okay. Now just delete you at example.com. And the quotes too. You don't need the quotes, I realized. Now type in your GitHub user email after that.
Just right here.
Yep. And your username just the same below it.
And my username was BennyG7.
So we have 7 people that are done. And we should have 8 more 4s. If you haven't posted a 4 in the chat, make sure you do that so you know, let me know.
Hey, Josh, just have a question. So mine is add publish to GitHub. Am I just loading the files to publish now? Am I all set or?
We'll check with you in a second. Let's get Ben caught up here. So copy this, Ben. Copy these lines. Try to copy no empty spaces, just directly the text itself.
Should there be a space on the second Git?
Just yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, just copy this.
Okay.
Okay. And it should be hold down, go to the very top of the window and click terminal around where you would see file. Yeah, new terminal. Okay. I don't think it's going to be this one. I think you have to change it right here. Click this button. Bash. Yeah. Paste it there in bash.
And then just press enter?
Yep. Okay, now try it. Click commit. Okay, publish. Allow. Authorize.
Should it be private or
public? It's public and private. So authorize.
Authorize.
Public. Yeah, not private, public. Open in GitHub. And there it is, you're all set.
And then if I have other, actually it's fine, I'll ask during TA hours. Thank you.
Okay, if you have another project you want to push, create a separate folder. And in those files, you go through the same steps. You click initialize repository, create a message, first commit, click it, and then it'll say commit, and then it'll say initialize repository.
So every single
Publish.
project we do from here on out has to have its own folder?
Yes, and that's how it should be anyways. Every single project that you do from here on out, whether you push to Git or not, it should have its own folder. That's the way to stay organized from here on out, because now projects are going to require a lot of files. And if you don't have them in their own folder and you have multiple projects in the same folder, the files are going to confuse each other.
Okay, thank you.
Is the username the profile name that you use, or because I'm not?
Username is the name that you would have used when you created your GitHub account.
Yeah, so the profile name, right?
Yeah, okay, that's what you're calling it. Yes, that's what it is. Isaiah, did you have a question?
I think I'm all set about share my screen for 1 second. You see it? I think I'm all set.
You're all set. You're all set. Okay.
Josh, could you help me out on this? I'm in
Yep.
a similar position as
Okay.
you.
Okay. All right. So, go ahead. Oh, why'd you stop sharing? Oh,
Yeah,
that's my alarm.
yeah, so I
Click
created
commit.
yeah, commits.
Yeah. What does it tell you?
Same thing as Anthony.
Okay. Click cancel. Click cancel.
Oh, yeah, and then
Whenever you type it in, you have to make sure you're in bash. So you have to go to terminal here. Terminal.
Yeah.
Click terminal.
He had a space in his name, that's why.
Oh, okay. Yeah. and you
Ryan
have to-
space now.
oh. Yeah, that's why I changed it. So
Okay, and then follow me here. Click
Mhm.
that down arrow. Go to bash.
Git
Get
bash.
Yeah. Now paste in username, email there. Enter.
Yeah.
Enter.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you're good. Now click commit.
And then publish branch.
Yes, sir. Allow.
Wow.
Right. And you know the steps. You've seen everyone else do it here.
Yep.
Authorize.
Yeah, there it is. Do I?
Public.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Still loading on.
Don't worry. Yeah, just let's let it load. Okay, so who else is, should we say yes or no? Ask me later. Would you like Visual Studio? Yes, just yes. Git fetch means, I'll explain what that means. I'll explain more details of what we're doing as soon as we're all on board. Okay, this is the hard part. Okay, just let it load. So, okay, I guess I'll use this time to explain a little bit about Git. Git allows you to collaborate with fellow developers, okay? Let's say you're working on a project and there's multiple pages. There's a login page. There's a home page when you enter, okay? Let's say you are the head of a developer team and you're assigning tasks. You assign one person to the login page. Maybe you assign 2 people to the login page. They're working on different features at the same time, and then you have someone working on the home page. Okay. Now sign in with your browser. People working together on a project, they may have conflicting code. And authorize. Click authorize. They may have conflicting code. So you, as the project manager, have to figure out how to merge them together. And that's what GitHub allows us to do. It allows us to open in GitHub, bottom right of your Visual Studio, open in GitHub. It allows us to merge code together and to work and collaborate as developers. And there you go. You're good, Ryan. You're all set.
Thanks.
And you'll use it often in the workforce and in your personal life, as often as you post to Git. So if you make multiple pushes to Git a day, it's visual, and potential employers can see how often you're pushing to Git, how frequent of a developer you're using. So I highly encourage you to use Git to show that you are an active developer. It doesn't matter if you're just pushing dojo projects, okay? An employer doesn't know the difference, and it is something you worked hard on, so you can see your progress as a developer as you push more on Git, and someone can see that that you're getting better as well. You're a frequent coder, you're improving in skill at a high rate. So I would encourage you from now on, post all your assignments on Git. They can be your project, okay? Yeah. Employers see your project, they see your work through Git, they can see a future employer may see some of your projects on Git and ask you about them based on the code that they can read. Okay, why did you do this here? Or that's interesting, can you tell me about how you got this to work? And you can tell stories based on the projects that you've worked on. How do we make GitHub repositories public versus private? You have to click that repository. There's a settings tab that you can switch from public to private. It's at the very bottom of the settings. I can show you how to do that here. I'll share my screen. Who else is not done? Edward?
Yeah, I'm far from it. I've got all kinds of issues popping up here.
Okay, share your screen. And who else is not done?
I just joined back after completing the test.
Okay, so actually, Kai, we'll work with you this afternoon on GitHub.
Okay.
Me too. I came in after my test, so.
Okay, so then we'll save your GitHub set
Okay.
for this afternoon.
Okay.
Me
Okay,
as well.
Edward. You too, Shannon?
Yes.
Okay, all right, definitely. We'll get
Thank
you
you.
guys this afternoon. All right, so here you are, first commit. Where are you in the steps? Where did you?
So what happened was I uploaded it, it went private, and then now I can't fix anything, change anything.
We'll use your, okay, we'll go back to your GitHub page. We'll switch it back to public. We'll use yours as an example of how to switch back to public. Okay. If you accidentally made one private and you want to switch back to public, click on that repository. So click that GitHub, the blue link, that's the name of your repository. Repository is a online folder. Now click settings at right to the right center. There we go. Scroll down, all the way down, all the way down. Change visibility, danger zone, change visibility. Make change to public. Yep, click it. Yep. Make it public, click it. Don't click X. All right, and now it's public. So if you
Okay, so I had another question though. This kind of just I pulled it and it's still running in one of the terminals.
It's
like it's
so you
just running
have
in the background.
You have just a bunch of terminals open. You don't have anything running in any of your terminals. You just have a bunch of them open.
Yeah, I'll have to get with you whenever I committed, I can't uncommit. I came up here, I tried to go down to commit and undo the last commit, and I did.
Why? No, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. If you want to make a changes to your commits, you just make the change on the file, you commit again, and it will overwrite your last change. It's like if you're saving a file. So you don't need to uncommit. That's
Okay.
something you ever have to do.
So I tried to upload another one and then I get an issue.
So any file that you put in that folder now, whenever you commit, all those files will be pushed. So that specific folder that you created, any new file that you create in that folder will be included in your push. Okay, so you don't have to push files. You just have to push in general for all the files in that folder. Now, if you click, oh wait, go back, put a message, don't go so fast. Put a message in there. Second commit. Okay, click commit. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yes. Click OK.
And this is already done. This keeps popping up, even though I've already.
Okay. Open git log. Open git log. Open git log. Don't close it.
This is what runs in the background, like constantly.
Right.
It just
So
keeps running over and over and over.
scroll up. Scroll up. Okay. We'll have to get you set up. So actually, I think what we'll do is we'll just work some extra time after this lecture. But I don't want to hold up this whole lecture for this
Oh,
bug.
I got you. No worries.
Okay. Anyone else not running besides Edward? I think we're all good, right?
So I just had a question besides
Yeah.
it, run. So you're saying the preference would be now from assignments rather than zipping a file that you would prefer, and that it would generally be faster for us to upload this way, upload it to GitHub and then provide you the link for the assignment, correct?
Right. Yeah. Not just for, yeah, it doesn't make a difference for us graders, but for your sake, it's going to be better to show that you are an active developer. Okay. Because your GitHub profile will be on your resume. It'll be on your LinkedIn, right? So this is now your, how do you call it? What's that? And this is your
Resume.
work. This is like a type of, yeah, related to your resume. This is your work. This is your portfolio.
Portfolio.
Yeah.
Then also just to be real quick, real fast, is that every time I upload any file to do this in this manner, it needs to be in its own individual folder every time.
Yes. It's a good habit now, from now on, not just because it's an individual file, but project, right? Like, let's say you have a folder with 4 files that work together in there. Okay. As long as those 4 files are all related to that specific project, you're not mixing in different assignments, different projects in the same folder. One folder per assignment, per project. Okay. It can contain multiple files, but all those files have to be specific to that assignment, specific to that project. Does that make sense? Cool. All right. So Edward will get set up. Anybody else need help? Okay. I think we're all good. Thank you, guys. We'll stop this recording.